Well, we're certainly excited to be in the postseason, 9 years in a row, and it's a tribute to the players that we've had, and certainly the opportunity to be at home for this season. We had a great regular season. I'm very proud of our seniors. They've made this team an awful lot of fun with their leadership and keeping the team loose, but also keeping the team, headed down the line that we need to be headed down on a daily basis. I can't say enough great things about all of them, the ones that are playing every day and being productive between the lines, and even the seniors that aren't between the lines each and every day have been great leaders and great teammates, and just looking forward to this weekend and obviously a challenge with Texas Southern tomorrow.
Questions?
Coach, can you take us through what these two guys have meant to your program this year? Mitch, as a guy who hadn't started a lot of games before this year and becoming your first ever first-team All-SEC guy, and then Blake, where would you be without a guy who can play short and can lead off?
Well, when you look at them, they're both guys that we recruited out of high school, and both of them are football players and came in with that mentality on the baseball field. And from day one, Blake's played everywhere on the infield, and I think it was probably 10 or 12 games into his freshman year. Hadn't played yet, and he got on the field. He hasn't come off since. And you talk about what they've done between the lines has been pretty special this year in the leadoff spot and the 3-0 spot. And Mitchell now, had a really good junior year going and got hurt, never found his way back into the lineup on a consistent basis, and went out this summer. And you look at his stats from what he did in Alaska, you wouldn't say that was a transformation from the standpoint of statistics, but his mentality, his body changed and came back, and from day one has been as big a part of our team from a leadership position as anybody. Both of them play with a chip on their shoulder, they lead with a chip on their shoulder, and not even talking about what they've done between the lines is irreplaceable, but just who they are off the field is pretty special.
Probably have you decided who will throw tomorrow?
Matt Kent will start in game 1. Grayson Long will start game 2 for us, and I feel like Matt has a chance to slow down that running game. He threw really good against them last year and gives us the best chance to win tomorrow.
Coach, did it factor in any that he might be able to pitch later in the week as well, when Long has basically been a one game a week kind of guy's career?
That is a possibility that he could come back, and I expect him to get us off to a great start tomorrow, and take us as deep as he can take us, and allow us to have a chance to grab the lead. But he's got a chance to defend his position really well. I think he stops the running game because he's got such a great feel for it, and I know that's one of Texas Southern's strengths. They lead the country in stolen bases, and I think Matt's got a chance to neutralize that.
He shook off a poor start against South Carolina when the previous 2 weeks he'd been so good. Long relief and bullpen. Was it important to see him come back like that against Vanderbilt? Well,
certainly so. We were going to start him in game 3 against Ole Miss and ended up getting rained out, so he almost had a 10-day rest in there. But once he got the ball against Vandy, he was pretty special, and obviously makes the decision to go with him in game 1 that much easier because he was so good against Vanderbilt.
With what Grayson did for y'all, stepping up into that role and how he handled it, would you mind speaking to his role? Well,
extremely proud of him. Once A.J. Minter went down, he just said, "Get on my back. I'm going to lead you into every week that we have," whether it was a short week and we started on Thursday, and even into the conference tournament, he wasn't going to take no for an answer going on Thursday. He wanted the ball on Wednesday and wanted to lead us into that weekend, and very proud of the man that he's become. From his freshman year to his junior year, he's really grown up, and obviously he's grown up as a pitcher too, and has really learned how to pitch, and he's gotten better in every area. But for us to have the year that we had, him stepping forward and being a consistent guy every Friday night's been special.
What's maybe an example of him growing up in that span?
Well, just his preparation week in, week out. There's not anything that needs to be said to him on what he needs to take care of preparing for his next start, whether it's he gets a 6-day rest or a 5-day rest. He's on top of that and taking care of it on a daily basis. And last year at this time, he had wobbled down the stretch his last 2 or 3 starts. He got tired, and he hasn't done that. And that comes down to his preparation on a weekly basis and taking care of his body the right way.
What will tomorrow be like for you personally? More than just baseball, as you'll go across the street for your daughter's graduation?
Yeah, it works out perfect. And, my daughter told me in no uncertain terms, better make sure that you host. I graduate on the 29th, and she graduates at 4 o'clock at Reed Arena, and get an opportunity to be a part of that, and, get back over here and get ready for the game at 6 o'clock. So I appreciate you asking, but it's going to be a special day.
Blake, Coach mentioned you guys playing with a chip on your shoulder this season, not getting selected as a national seed. Does that add a little bit more fuel to the fire as far as trying to prove everybody wrong, I guess?
Yeah, it doesn't add too much. We felt like we had a great year and we were deserving. I'm sure TC was equally deserving, but the good news is we take care of business, we'll be able to settle on the field, and that's the way we're going to look at it. We're going to, first off, we got to take care of Texas Southern tomorrow, but after that, we'll just play the chip on the shoulder like we have the entire season, and I think the rest will take care of itself.
Like you really, weren't locked in to play shortstop till you came back in the fall and won that job. How important was it a good fall and then to be a leader in a position where there had been some turnover and it was kind of the hole in the middle of the field?
Yeah, coming back in the fall, kind of knew it was my spot, so I want to take ownership of it and just be the leader of the infield and kind of be a leader of that standpoint and just make sure everyone's where they need to be and everything's going smoothly and just nothing else. Be constant with my my energy, my effort, and just kind of be the thermometer, so to speak, and just keep everything constant, whether playing good or bad. I didn't want to have too many ups or downs with my behavior or my attitudes. That's just been the main thing I've tried to do.
For each of the seniors, what does it mean to be able to play in the postseason your last year right here at Olsen Field?
It's special. It started here my freshman year, we got the host, and now it's come full circle, and we're going to end here. So it's special to be in front of the home crowd, in front of these fans, and I'm sure it's something I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's been tough going on the road the past 2 years for the regional. I think it really gives us an advantage with the 12th man and having somewhat of a routine here at home going into the games. So we're looking forward to it.
Mitchell, if somebody told you midway through the Alaska season you're going to bat in the 3-hole every day next year, would you say, yeah, that's the work I'm putting here is going to pay off, or would that have exceeded your expectations?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been, I've never thought that I wasn't good enough for it, and I didn't put up the numbers I wanted to in Alaska, but I went out and took care of my body and took care of my business off the field, and I came back and from day one, that was my mindset. I was going to play every day, no matter what that meant. I thought I was going to be catching, but it didn't pan out that way. Mike's a great receiver. He helps his team back there more than I could have, and I fell into this role in the 3-hole and the DH, and I've embraced it and I love it, and we're just going to keep this thing rolling.
Blake, what is it like to play in a game behind Kent? He seems to work quickly, and he always has the ball in play. You'll work behind him tomorrow.
Yeah, Kent's the kind of guy. You can't ask for much more than he does on the mound. He's gonna attack hitters. He's gonna throw strikes, and he's gonna compete. He's not gonna shy away from the moment. He's not gonna back down, and he's gonna attack hitters, make them put the ball in play, and that's really all I can ask for as a defender out there. So it's fun working behind Matt.
As you said, the challenge of Texas Southern is their running game. Have you done anything extra these couple days to prepare for that?
Well, we having the luxury, like Mitchell said, to be at home and be in a normal routine, and that we're hosting. We're not traveling on Wednesday and trying to look for a place to practice on the road. Yeah, we've been able to, focus on that from a defensive standpoint this week and prepare for that. We've certainly faced other teams in the league that like to run and pressure with Vanderbilt and LSU and Tennessee. So we've had those opportunities along the way, but certainly the key is getting that leadoff hitter and trying to grab the lead as quick as we can.
Looking past that, Texas Southern's not the only team that can run in this regional.
No doubt. Coastal Carolina can, beat you in a lot of different ways too, and one of those is on the bases. Gary has done a great job year in, year out. He's one of the best coaches in America, and his teams, like you said, they've got 75 stolen bases and 60 home runs, so they can beat you a lot of different ways as well. So that'll be a challenge as we go through.
Rob, do you know how you set up the rotation after the first two guys?
I don't. Those, we'll go, like I said, Kent and Grayson in games 1 and 2, and worry about game 3 when we get there.
Blake, how have you seen Grayson grow in that span, and also how he handled his being thrust into that important role that he was thrust into?
I think I've seen Grayson really grow up this year. It's really mature. It's all about his mindset. I don't see, when things don't go as well on the mound, I don't see him get frustrated or let that affect him like it has in the past. He's been able to kind of shrug that off and just keep coming. I think that's the biggest part of his development this year, and that's what I've noticed playing shortstop is just the fact that no matter what's going to happen in the game, whether it's good or bad, he's going to keep coming and keep going after it. So that's just the biggest thing I've seen with him, I think.
Mitchell, all year y'all have been pretty resilient throughout everything that happens. How important is that mindset, especially when you get to the postseason?
It's the utmost from an offensive standpoint. The word that we use instead of resiliency is relentless. And in everything we do, every game that we're in, every at bat that we have, it's a fight until the end. we're not going to give up, and you're always going to get our best shot. You know, if we're down to our last strike, you know, down 2 runs in the 9th, you're still not in the clear. You know, we still have the fight in us, and that's what we've been doing all year, and that's what's got us here. So there's no reason for us to change it or do anything different, and just keep coming until, you know, the final out is made, and after that, you know, we take care of our business and we'll come out on top of this thing.
Got time for 1 or 2 more?
Blake, you guys have really utilized the long ball at times this year compared to the past couple of seasons. Do you attribute that more to y'all's progressions as hitters or the ball, or a little bit of both?
I'd say a little bit of both. I think the ball has definitely helped on some of those, but I think our progression as a hitting team has really helped too. We have a great approach, Coach Bolt, and I think it's the long ball is a result of that. I mean, I'm sure you'd ask all the guys on the team, most of their home runs they hit, they weren't trying to hit them, they just kind of happened. So that's just kind of the approach we have, and we've been able to put some good swings in the ball, and been able to hit some balls out of the yard.
Anything else?
Coach Chorley play center field probably to start with?
I don't know. We'll get that lineup written tomorrow. I mean, it'd be either him or Moss. Not sure yet.